Welcome back to the third quarter of the Bobby003 Show. We have some good pictures to show you. We've got a little notice here, a little PSA. Cortland Reed, who's a 5th grader at Westminster Christian, started a food drive, and it's going to be to help icons, and of course that's the Opelousas food bank on must be North Court Street, North Court or North Market Street. Dana Reed, is she still?
I think so.
Still involved there. Well, Cortland, and I guess that's either his grandfather or father, is Cortland Reed and Sons Automotive Exchange. That's their 2nd annual food drive they're holding. And Sons Automotive Exchange is located at 1232 West Vine Street. Been in business for quite a number of years, and they, from what I gather in the mention of this, they want to give back. And Cortland, I guess it's either their son or possibly a grandchild. They are trying to teach him what all of us need to keep in mind, and that's to give to those that are less fortunate than we are. If you're doing pretty well, you're a lot more fortunate than a lot of the people. You don't have to be rich or anything like that. If you just have a big heart, that starts you off of really being rich. Rich in your heart, then you can help other people. When you have that bad heart, you can have a pocket full of $100 bills, and they won't share it with you. But you've got some poor people that'll give you $5, and that's a big $5 because that's coming out of the Bible. That's what the Bible tells you. She didn't give much, but she gave more than you did because she gave everything she had.
Less means, right?
That's correct. So anyhow,
Sons is right there when you cross the Lewisburg Highway. If you're coming in from the west side of town, right there on West Vine, it's right on your left.
And it's going to be held right there at this 1232 West Vine Street.
Saturday.
And it's November 17th, starting at 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Thanks for passing this on to us. How about this business after hours? Liz Durio with Durio's Curios, Antiques and Restoration.
Yes, sir.
Located 5853 Highway 183. That's just south of Opelousas. Used to be called Louisiana Nursery. I think one of the Mr. and Mrs. Durio's sons is now running the nursery, and I think they've changed the name, but the same location, and she's right next door. Got all kinds of pretty little things to sell you, and you visit, and it's a business after hours, so they're going to have snacks, and they're going to have little glasses of red wine or cold drinks, whatever your heart desires. And
you'll recognize Liz. She's the redhead.
Yeah, and that is going to be December the 6th from 5:30 to 7:30. So we'll come back and give you that again. The redhead, Little Red. That's what she worked at Opelousas Underwriters and Dupree Carrier got y'all and Imperial back in those different companies at different times within the organization.
If you're a type of person that uses gasoline, KDCG is giving away $100 gas cards from now until December the 10th. If you want to get your gas card, a $100 gas card, text the word PUMP. P-U-M-P to the phone number 64636. If you text that, you got a chance to win $100 of gas.
How about that?
How can you go wrong?
We spoke of Opelousas young man who's done quite well in football, and of course that was Devery Henderson. We have others, but I mean we talked about Devery and the Blue Glass Miracle. Well, we had another young man back in 1972, the Olympic Games in Munich, Germany, by the name of Rodney Milburn, who won the gold medal and won it in record time, and he broke all types of records, and he started right here at what used to be J.S. Clark High School and Coach Paxton. Well, Coach Paxton needed somebody to take their regular hurdler's place one day. The hurdler was sick and couldn't participate, so he asked if he had any volunteers. And a very quiet young boy at the time said, "I'll try, Coach," and he did. He knocked down every hurdle in that first race. That's how inexperienced he was, yet he won the race. And he felt that that was enough. He didn't think he'd go any further because he didn't see his himself being very good. He came from a very large family, a very poor family, just struggling. Kind of, that kid that's got the ability, but he's kind of in the back of the class, being quiet.
Doesn't have that confidence level yet.
Didn't have that. Coach Paxton told him that he wanted him to come out and train as a hurdler. And he says, I don't believe I want to do that. He says, you can be the best hurdler that ever was. And he says, that kind of woke me up. He says, I think I'll give it a try. And of course, records after record
Won
after
the gold
record.
medal in Munich.
Had coffee with my sister-in-law in Lafayette on Tuesday morning, Wilda Dupre, Cody's wife. And I don't know if we talked about this, but we got to talking about Reggie and
their son Reggie, who was a great athlete himself.
Yeah. And she says she remembers Reggie competing against Rodney Milburn in an event, track meet around the New Orleans area, maybe in West Wego or someplace. And she says, Rodney smoked him. And
Reggie was all state class, but Milburn was all world class.
World class. So anyhow, went on and then had a bad divorce, lost the family, lost his home. He was living as a homeless young man, riding in a cab to get to work at a refinery. And he fell in a tank, and it was an acid-filled tank, and had the unfortunate death right there. And we have a street that's named after him. Leslie Schiff was the organizer of an event that was held in his honor. We really did a lot back then, but what the article says is we have a habit of forgetting people. Well, let's not forget our own Rodney Milburn. Keep him in your prayers.
Very good. How about a couple more sponsors while we at it? How about Sears?
Let me tell them, this is the magazine.
Acadiana Profile,
Acadiana Profile.
Been around for quite some years. I see the logo's kind of changed on the front cover, but you've probably all have read some good articles in it. Very
positive article, and I think the whole magazine is about positive articles like the Bobby Dupre Show.
Sears of Opelousas is right here on Crestwell Lane. All your home needs. You can get all your appliances there, from television sets to your stove to your oven to your washers and drawers. They've got all your home lawn and garden stuff, the big tractors, the push mowers. Got all that there. You can go by and see Derek Faust. I'll say it right.
There you
Derek
go.
Faust. Get all your home needs there with Sears. Not just a catalog store.
We're going to show a few pictures right here.
We will.
And this is Mike Bear. And I met Mike when I went over to Tyler, Texas area. And he rides motorcycles, and he has a trike. And that's what I was having, my Honda
trike. Pop that photo up there for us, Steve. Got the photos?
Nope,
we got a problem, don't we? 1 sec while I do this. You hang tight. It's probably me that's got the issue. And you give me one more second, and we go here. You got me? Bingo. Got it.
Okay, we got it on now. And I called Mike to find out whether that was a daughter of his or his wife. Well, I found out it's his lovely young wife. And she was a Kilgore Rangerette.
Yeah.
And she and I guess it was Mike's mom, or maybe her mom, were boarding a plane and on their way to New York City to visit some friends. And of course, I guess kind of pep them up, because they had some Sandy was really hard on New York and New York area. And Mike's going to call me back. And of course, this is our own Opelousas native who went on to become world famous. And I'm speaking of Herbert Brown. Herbert Brown came back from World War II, and his mama had a little bitty shop. Maybe it was selling a few little appliances and all. and he decided to really make it a furniture store. And then, of course, he ended up with probably a half dozen Brown's furniture stores, and they're still using that name. It was a good name then, and it's still a good name now. Mr. Fontenot handles, he owns it out of Ville Platte, he and his family. And Herbert went on into real estate development. He formed
the drugstore company. What was it?
Brown's Thrifty Way.
Thrift City.
Thrift City. Right. Brown's Thrift City, and sold out to Eckerd Drugs, and then he moved to take an administrative position with Eckerd Drugs, moved to Clearwater, Florida, where he still lives today. And then he got
involved in the Checkers Burgers franchises and took over the company.
Yep, yeah, that's correct. And then today, and then he donated money years ago to put the two big golden hands
over at Oral Roberts
University in, what is that, Tulsa, Oklahoma?
I think so. I think it's Tulsa.
It's Oklahoma, and I think it's Tulsa. But then he was an active local Rotarian, and eventually ended up being president of the International Rotary Club. I mean, that's about as high on it. Well, it's in giving back to your country, your state, and your friends and your relatives and the country.
He's done it all.
That's as high as you can get. International president of the Rotary Club, world renowned. And then just lately, in a little bitty article, this was the article right here, inside of newspapers, it says that a philanthropist donates land for LSU clinic. So I just said, wait a while, who is this? And it turns out, who else but
Herbert Brown.
Herbert Brown and his lovely wife, Diane. Diane was Mr. and Miss J.Y. Fontenot's daughter from Opelousas also. And Mr. J.Y. was district attorney. When I was senior in college, I went into the bail bond business, and Mr. J.Y. was the district attorney, and Morgan Goodall was the assistant. First assistant, only assistant probably in those days.
Right.
And they immediately started helping me, and the rest is history for me too, and that good ties with the family. But Herbert is now 89 years old,
wow.
Still looks real good. About a year and a half ago, he got pulled over into our lot there for kind of making the turn by the office kind of maybe a little bit over into other land. When they found out who it was, they said, Mr. Brown, just be careful. Continue on your way.
He still owns property here in town. I think the shopping center where Mr. Roland Savoy's shop was for years and years. I think he still owns that building.
Still owns that. Still owns where Cafe Acadiana is.
Right,
he still owns that, and I'm sure he still owns the Brown's furniture building.
So.
Probably still owns that building. The list goes on and on. His accomplishments, and of course, he was one of the founders of American Bank. I served on the American Bank board with Mr. Herbert Brown.
So. How about another sponsor, Carl's Thrifty Way? Go by Carl's Thrifty Way to get your prescriptions filled. They can handle all your prescriptions. They can give you compounded medications where they take multiple prescriptions and make it easier for you to take by putting multiple ones together for you. They've got a great gift section and home decorating ideas. They'll even go to your home and help you, especially right now at Christmas time. You want to get those huge wreaths and all done. They do all that.
Christmas gifts
really
are
nice
arriving and being put onto the shelves. So let's get another picture here.
All right, here we are.
And this was, must have been last Wednesday. I was going over to bring my daughter, Kelly, on the right, to Cafe Josephine for lunch. And we stopped by and picked up Kelly's good friend and my good friend, Miss Liz Durio at Durio's Curios. How about that? Right. And this is a picture taken at inside of Cafe Josephine. And this is the waitress that waited on us, Miss Missy Fall, and her mama was what I told you,
Quibido,
Julie Quibido.
Got it.
Married, of course, but her daddy was Mr. L.J. Quibido with L.J.'s Gulf Station right downtown. How about that?
We got to take a 1-minute break, folks. We'll see you another side of one.